And I think that's it. Am I missing anything, Becky? Okay, that's it. I will hand it over to Art. Let me make sure we're good for you, for those people at home. We've got people on Zoom, so let me spotlight you. And I think we're missing.
Nico, I think they've found our location. Let's make sure we move next week and found out where we're at. We've been hiding in this garage for a while.
They know where you're now.
I got a new son, so my son's name is Arthur too. He's now 3 months old, a little over 3 months, 3.5 months old. He's named Arthur also. So one of the things that's happened is we've tied our approval rating together. So the Arthur approval rating is shot through the moon recently. You know what I mean? Like the Arthur, the house vibe, you know, really he helps me keep the Arthur approval rating way up. One day I'm sure he's going to try to bring it down and I'm going to have to like bring it back up for him. But right now, us Arthurs, we're doing pretty good, you know? So it's nice to be able to, when I put him out on social media and my approval rating goes up, I don't have to do nothing. You know what I mean? They're digging it. So he's pretty cool. He does that for me. Went to I'm not usually just doing a comedy thing, but Angie texted me Thursday night, and normally on Thursday nights I go to this place, Prosperity House, which is a treatment center, and I go and do a little talk, and that usually results in people coming our direction or whatever. But I decided to skip it on Thursday, and I was going to go home and just hang out with Ange. But luckily for me, as I was driving home, I got a text and it said, "Would you skip Prosperity House tonight? And we could go see this guy at Muckleshoot. We got free tickets." This guy was a medium. Is that what you call him?
Yeah.
What's his name? Tyler Henry, the medium.
Yeah.
Okay. So I agreed. There was no way out of it that I saw. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was, yeah. Like how you're here now. It's like that. Okay. So here we go. We're gonna go. And I didn't want to be skeptical. I want to be one of these guys with an open mind, But yeah, so we get in the middle of this thing, and one of the things that kind of gave me a bad taste in my mouth was that there was a lot of people that had been through some tragedies, and we knew some of them. They were in the line. So we knew some of the people that had lost a kid or something. And so kind of got a bad taste in my mouth already because of the desperation. Because people are going to try to talk to their loved ones if they lost abruptly. And to me, it was a little, oh man, this better be real, because these people are very hopeful and they need this hope. And, so anyways, we go and I wasn't convinced. It turns out that the people that have passed on to the other side now speak in code back to this gentleman, Like they don't go, "Hey, it's me, Ronnie." Tell Linda, this is what I'm saying. Instead, he's scribbling on a piece of paper and he goes, "Do you know somebody that has the name R?" So he's, I guess Ronnie's on the other side going, "It's an R name." And he doesn't just go, "It's me, Ronnie." So then, he does he's up on the stage and he goes, "Something's coming to mind." He scribbles on a piece of paper. He goes, "Wolf, Wolfie." Is anybody picking up Wolf? And like 17 people raise their hand. And then he goes, "Well, this guy, maybe his nickname was Wolfie." And then some hands start to go down, gets a little lower, and finally he zeroes in on one person. They're my brother called himself Wolf. So there we go. You know, he's got him convinced now. You know, says something about keys, car keys. You know, and they're like, yeah, he lost his car key. And we're like, damn it is real. You know, so we did about 2 or 3 of them before me and Angie finally. She's a great wife because, see, when we're together on something, we're pretty clear. You know, it got to the point where the first one kind of made us cry, and the second one was kind of getting a little more, and the third one we're like, oh, this is horse shit.
That first one had to be the plant. That's right.
Yeah, the first one we yeah. She's but the plant, she's in a this is what he did. She's in a tie-dyed shirt. She's in a tie-dyed shirt. She's got bracelets on all up her arms. He goes, I'm thinking something about yoga. And she's like, I do yoga. I teach you. It's like, you're in a tie-dye shirt. Everyone in a tie-dye shirt does yoga. It's like me wearing a Mariners, you know. Something about baseball, likes baseball. So anyways, I'm not convinced. I'm convinced that if he had the ability to speak to people on the other side, he wouldn't use nuggets to try to prove that he had that ability. You see what I'm saying? But why are we spending this whole show picking up weird little nuggets so he can prove that he has that ability? So it was, anyways, go if you want, but don't go with the hopes that you're going to get picked. I wanted to raise my hand with everything. Wolf, yeah. I call myself Wolf. Just see where it would go, but he never called me up. All right, so this is kind of weird for people. If this is your first time, it's a weird thing. We're in a neighborhood, we're in a garage, it's hot. You know, how did we end up here? So I'll tell just a quick little overview of what this is for the new people, and we'll try to get through tonight and let yourself if you want to. You know, this started in this house like about 17, 15, 14, about 31 years ago. So this is actually my childhood home. This is where I grew up. From the time I was about 18, I went and delved into drugs and alcohol, and I got real serious about drugs and alcohol about 25 and made it my full-time commitment. And that lasted from about 18 to well, I just got a sweater on. So in 2011, there was a family. I wouldn't say a family intervention, but my family stepped up, and I always say this to new people. I say if you have a good family, if you're an addict that has a strong family, addiction usually ends not when the addict's ready for it to end, but rather when the family is ready for it to end. I think most addicts would go on forever if their family never got tired of it. And I believe that. And I believe that it's when other people get tired of our shit that somebody steps up and saves their life. And my father did that for me in February of 2011. When I did get sober, when I got sober, you know, for the first part is survival, but at some point it turns to why. For me, it was 18, 19 years of active addiction, and I don't know, I don't know if anybody was as curious as I was curious, but I was very curious. I was curious to figure out what exactly did this to me. How did I end up 37 years old with no friends, $80,000 in debt, living with my parents, and having nobody else in the world really want anything to do with me? And how did I become that kind of person? And what led me to that? And so to me, there was a big interest in recovery. And that was whatever kind that people offered. I want to know. I want to know. And very shortly into it, I at first believed, and I still can kind of see it to this day, that my addiction was just simply suffering from an identity crisis. Meaning, I just got to a point when I was younger where I didn't get enough validation or I wasn't anything. I hadn't become anything. And to me, a pathway of being the party guy was the way I went down, and I just took it too far. And so I never really thought much of it. I didn't think much of it like I was traumatized. I didn't think much of it like I had a disease. I didn't think anything like that. I just thought I loved drugs, and drugs became available, and that became my identity, and I became the party guy. And then I went too far, and I was just still partying at Monday when everybody else had went home. And then that led me down to pills and heroin and crack cocaine down a road that, just doesn't end well. And so, but eventually I had my faculties about me, and I was about 37 years old, and I had some kind of entrepreneurial skills, and I also had no job history. So basically, helping people became what I was going to do, just simply because I didn't know what else to do. And I kind of knew about this thing. I knew for me, I could articulate it well. So okay, I'm gonna go into helping people. And for me, that meant helping people get jobs and helping people get housing. And I kind of started this thing, and that I was in AA, and I did AA for 3 years, and I had sponsees and I had sponsors and I had that kind of thing. But I had more sponsors than I had sponsees. I didn't really get into that sponsee and stuff, but or sponsoring people thing. But mainly what it ended up happening was I was helping people. And to me back then, I thought that meant helping people not use drugs. You see, I thought, well, I'm gonna just get people off drugs. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm gonna give people space to do that, and I'm gonna be around them, and I'm gonna guide them, and I'm telling them to do what I do, and somehow that's gonna work. And it was a lot of force, if I can really be honest. It was a lot of like, come on, man, that kind of thing. So eventually what it led me to was I had all these houses, and I used to house people. And at the time I had about 10 houses, and I was housing these people, and I was entrepreneurial, and I was getting people jobs, and I was doing jobs, and I was doing my own life. And what came up was pain. What came to me was that what pain was, and I read it in a book, and it said to me, this is the life-changing moment for my life. I read it in a book, and it said, pain is resistance to what is. And I went, okay, what does that mean? What is pain? Pain is resistance to what is. And what it meant was, and I delve into a little further, what it meant to me was I was resisting, I was in pain a lot, and disgruntled a lot, and in disease a lot, and discomfort a lot, because I wish something that had happened wasn't happening. Or I wish something that had happened didn't happen. So I found out the source of pain is really what happened. I found out that my source of pain was all these forms of non-acceptance. And to me, this was a miracle. It falls on deaf ears when I try to teach it now, but because I don't think people really grasp the severity of it or grasp the understanding of it. But just imagine if you didn't want to be in pain anymore and you didn't have drugs to take away your pain. So I was in a place where I didn't want pain anymore. And by pain, I meant frustration, annoyance. I meant any kind of pain. I meant all types of resistance. I didn't want to be frustrated. I didn't want to be annoyed. I didn't want to be angry. I didn't want to be any of those things anymore because I didn't have drugs to take those away. So I had found out that what cured my resistance was acceptance. And so what I did was I really delved into this playing with resistance thing. Okay. I started noticing all the types of resistance in my body, all the types from a light frustration, from a light annoyance to a deep anger. The difference between what my body was doing in all of those states. So I started getting into this idea of playing with resistance. Now, I want you to remember that at the time we were helping people. And I hope you came here tonight because that's what you want to do. Because there's someone in your life that maybe you want their behavior to be different. And you also come here because you might feel powerless to their behavior being different. And now I was in that state of I had all these people and I wanted their behavior to be different. I also suffered from severe resistance when their behavior wasn't the way I liked it. Okay. So at the time, what I used was force. And see, when we lack power as human beings, force is our natural go to move. Can I force this to stop? Can I punish this to stop? Can I give this some repercussions so it goes away? Can I yell at it? Can I, whatever I'm going to do to force this thing to stop, can I shut it down? So you probably all tried that stuff. Got parents here that took in the door off their kid's bedroom. You've taken away cell phones, you've taken away cars, you've done it all. Everything that is forceful. I also had this other dilemma going on. I didn't like people. I don't like people. There's nobody I like. I mean, inevitably, I might like you for a little while, but you will say some stupid shit. And I won't like you. And my goal in my life at this time was to help people, but I didn't like them. You see? And I only liked them when they did everything that I said to do exactly how I said to do it. Then I like you. But I don't really like you that much. Because now you're kind of annoying because you're doing everything I fucking said to do. You see what I'm saying? That's annoying too. Go to a meeting every day. Then he comes back. He's like, God, I went to a meeting every day. I'm like, shut up. You see? But what it led to was, number one, okay, what was this here for? Was this here for me to help people and make them grow? Or could it possibly be that in order to help people, in year 3 of helping people, that I would need to grow? Could it be that I need to abandon these forceful measures and there was something wrong with me? Could it be that this showed up, these people, these hundreds of people that were in my houses actually weren't there at the time for my help? Because in all honesty, I wasn't really prepared. Because see, the people that were there at that time, they were there, but I needed them. You see? The fact that I needed them to get better, to improve who I was a pretty big dilemma. You see, I need you to make your bed so people know what a good program manager I am. Trust me, I care about you. I need you to not do drugs because I care what I look like as the program owner. So when you do drugs, I'm going to be very angry with you. I care deeply, and my pain and my resistance was tied very, very closely to whether they did exactly what I wanted them to do or not. Now we've got a predicament. Because am I helping them or are they helping me? Which one was it? And what I learned was that was force. That through me, my pain and my resistance, wanting another human being to change in order to take away my pain and resistance is a big problem. When I then would have a conversation, and I want you guys to understand where this is going, when you begin to play with your resistance and you begin to see that that is the entirety of the problem, that if there is people in your life that you want to change, it might not be that they need to change. The problem might be your resistance. And in fact, if you're going to be a person that influences change, you cannot influence it through your resistance. Now, by the way, everything I'm saying tonight might not be true. No, and it might be a pinnacle of something, but it's not where I'm at. Meaning I'm going to talk tonight about like where a human could go, not to say that I'm there. I'm saying what we're striving for. So as it began, that my pathway would no longer be that I've gotten better and I'm healthy and that these sick people are there and I must force them to get better so that they get healthy. And the cart got like put in the right way before the horse. And what it then showed up for me about year 3 of helping people was that they were there to teach me to play with resistance. That this showing up of what's happening for you is not there for your loved one, but rather, if you take it that way, that this is now showing up for you because you need to learn to play with resistance. And that then would be the start of not using force, but rather, and knowing that all of you came here tonight, many of you came here tonight to say that you've almost forced everything you can force, and now you're powerless. And now the suggestion for me is that when we switch this idea, and what we're going to do is no longer use force, but we're going to learn to play with our own resistance, we now have a teacher that's been formed and a practice that's been formed for growth. And when we really see what's blocking us from connection, from love, and from power, we will see that it is our own resistance. That it's not what's happening, that won't do it. It's what's happening inside of us. And that most of us, and if you can go one step further and you can say that all that changes a relationship with another human being, one that makes us connect more with another human, one that makes us deeper with a human, what changes a relationship? And then I'm going to suggest the only thing that changes a relationship is a conversation. And I'm going to say it's a specific type of conversation that we're not having. It's a specific type of conversation that cannot come from any resistance. You see, most of the time, I don't know if you guys notice this, but a lot of times when we're having a conversation with somebody that we care about and we want them to be different, there's something else in the room. Okay? When I was having the conversations with people in my program, it wasn't just me and the people in my program. You know who else was in the room? They were in the room. Okay? So as a parent, I'm going to tell you, it's not you and your kid in the room. I want you to look. It's them too. Who's they? Well, it's the people that are going to judge you on what type of mother or father you are. It's the people you're concerned about. It's the them. What do they think? What do they think about my kid being addicted? What do they think about me having my kid in this situation? What do they think about my kid needing to go to treatment? See, what do they think is in the room? And when I was having those conversations from resistance, the resistance was, what do they think about you not making your bed? What do they think about you not listening to me? What do they think? You see, now I had to learn that that kind of conversation was getting me into trouble. That my resistance was creating resistance. And so, in order for me to now really look at what this thing is, why would I need to get rid of my resistance? And I want to have conversations with people that connect. I want to have a conversation that makes it do what it does. I want to inspire. I want to be with. I want to love, but I can't because of all this resistance. So, this conversation that I talked about, I want you to look at the conversations that you're having with your loved ones, and I want you to identify where it is that you speak from. I want you to really look. And I want you to know whether you've had a conversation. And I see people all the time. I got young people that come to me. I got people in my program that come to me. I got parents that come to me. And one of the themes that I hear all the time is nobody listens to me. I'm going to go tell my ex-husband this, but he's not going to listen to me. I'm going to go tell my kid this, but he's not going to listen to me. I'm going to go tell my mom this, but she's not going to listen to me. I don't understand why people are so open to not being listened to. And they don't say it like they need to change. They don't say it like, hey, when I go talk to people, no one listens to me. They don't say it like that. They say it like this. They never listen to me. He doesn't listen. There's nothing you can do. They don't listen. You see, for me, it's very simple. I want to be listened to. If you all don't listen to me tonight, I promise I'm not going to go home to my wife and complain about not being listened to. I'm going to go home and go, what did I do wrong? You see? So the conversations that I'm talking about us happen that we need to learn to have with our loved ones is when we speak from our heart. You know, everyone that ever in the history of the world that has spoken from their heart was listened to. In the history of the world, when somebody speaks from their heart, we hear it and we listen to it. You see? We don't listen from criticism. We don't listen from contempt. We don't listen from anger. We don't listen. What do we do in those cases when people are speaking at us from those places? Well, what we do is we shut down. What we do is we defend ourselves. What we do is justify ourselves. What we do is go, I don't care what you're saying. It's all nonsense. You see? So what I'd learned was that my resistance didn't allow me to speak from my heart because I was too concerned with what was going on here. And I needed that person to change to take away my resistance. If you need someone else to change to take away your resistance, that is called force. If you have no resistance but would like to someone to change, that's called love. You see? That's how we get there. That's how you get to a place of, and this kind of pathway. So we go down a pathway. Well, what are we talking about? How am I going to get rid of my resistance? You're going to play with it. You're going to note that that's a problem. That all the conversations that you've ever had from resistance, that needing to talk shit. You've ever see somebody texting from resistance? It looks like that. Send. You fucked up. Guaranteed. I don't even have to know the text. You fucked up. And if you're talking to a drug addict, you really fucked up. You fucked up so bad, you don't even know that you fucked. You can't. When I talk to someone, when I'm there and I feel my resistance, we get wise. We breathe. We regulate. We slow down. We learn. What is this now? When I said play with resistance, I had to play with the cause of it. You see? And maybe you're wrong. Maybe you go, well, no. My son is doing a really scary thing. They're doing drugs, so it causes a lot of resistance. Yeah. That's somehow true. There's a little bit of that truth. But if you look closer, you will see what's really causing your resistance. And I'm telling you, when you look closer, what you'll find is you'll find a they. You'll find, what will they think? What does this mean about me? What in this thing? Why am I in pain? Is it over my identity? Is it over? You see? So that fast forward, as I went on a practice to go one thing, difficult people, difficult conversations are to be had through a space of non-resistance, through a space of an open heart. And it no longer matters what I'm saying at all. It matters how I say it and where I say it from. So I sit with parents all the time and they say, what should I say to my kid? How am I going to get him to go to treatment? How am I going to get him to do this? How am I going to get him to do that? And I said, I would say, well, you have to first get to a place where you can speak from an open heart. So now we got to play with your resistance. You see? Otherwise, you're probably not qualified. And many people come and they go, I'm going to talk to my kid and he's not going to listen. Yeah, I know. Whenever I told you at the beginning of this thing, my father ended it. My father ended it because that day that he ended it, he showed me his heart. My dad was a Marine. I've never seen his heart. I didn't know what my addiction was doing to him. I thought we were playing a game. I thought it was cops and robbers. I thought I tried to get away with it and you tried to stop me. I thought we were playing another game, Dad. I fuck it up, you get me the lawyer. I'm playing a game here. You're my savior, Dad, and I'm the screw up. My dad liked the game for a long time. You see, my dad was the kind of dad that told me that my dad would bust out $1,500 and you'd be paying a lawyer. And he would say, well, you got to learn responsibility, son. You should laugh at that. You can't teach somebody responsibility while you're getting them a lawyer. See, if he sat with no money and he said, I'm not getting you a lawyer, you need to learn responsibility, I might have learned it. But he didn't let me have that opportunity to learn responsibility because he was responsible for me and he took every opportunity to save me. But at that day, he knew he couldn't anymore. And the way that it broke down was my mom called and said, son, you got to come back home. Your dad can't quit crying. I said, my dad's crying? What the hell? I better go home. My dad's crying. What else am I got to do? You see, drug addicts have a heart. But you got to show them yours first. So I went home, and when I got home, there was one tear. That's what I got to see. I didn't get to see the blubbering or none of that shit. I got to see one lonely tear. Like, that ain't crying. He's eating onions, you know? But there was one tear going down his face. Then he went like this. And when he came back, he wasn't crying no more. But in that moment, he showed me his heart. And then he ended it and said what he said. He told me I had one chance with him, and that was it. And he was dead serious. He saw that I saw the tear. That pissed him off, so he got a little angry. But he did still speak from his heart. He said, you got one chance with me, and it's today. If you don't go in that room right now and never use drugs again, you and I are done for the rest of my life. I'll never see you again. He showed me his heart, and he told me the truth. And he ended my addiction. So I'm a believer in when we have the right conversations from the right place. And I want you to really look and ask yourself, when's the last conversation you had with one of your loved ones that, you know, and these conversations need to be had, number one, when something's happening in your family and you don't like it and you want it to change and it's wrong. Well, you can't complain about it. You can't be sarcastic about it. You can't be contemptuous about it, but you want it to change. You're going to have to tell your family from a place. You're going to have to get in a place and you're going to have to talk to them from an open heart. You're going to have to talk and speak from your heart. Those conversations do things. But guess what? When you start a conversation from your heart, you might not be able to stay there. You know why? Because of resistance. Because they might not say everything. And see, I have to get prepared for these types of conversations. You know, I've had hundreds and thousands of them. Conversations that have made a real difference in people's life, I believe. Conversations that have made a difference in my life. Conversations that I had to sit in this seat and hold on for dear life because the resistance was pulling me away from my heart. Because I wanted to snap and say, no, it's like that. I want to snap and I want to use force. I want to snap and I want to say, don't you not listen to me. But you stay back and you feel the resistance in your body and you feel the pain. You see, we had this whole thing. We all came here. Well, pain caused all this. People don't know how to handle their pain. Do you? Have you worked with your pain? By that, I mean, have you worked with your resistance, or are you still dumping it on everyone around you? Do you still think there's another human being that's going to change and take your pain away? All of a sudden, you're not going to have any more resistance. And I'm talking about the resistance when you walk into the bank and somebody cuts you off in line. I'm talking about at traffic when you resist and you punch your steering wheel because you're a little late. I'm talking about all types of resistance. I'm talking about getting rid of it. Getting rid of it by being with it. So I've been with it. So what I learned was I wasn't helping people not do drugs. I was helping people deal with pain. And if I'm going to help folks deal with pain, I better be goddamn good at dealing with it. I better not be dumping it on other people. You see, righteousness is our pain reliever. I want you to look. Every single time, number one pain reliever in this world, beyond any other pain reliever, is righteousness. And it comes in the form of a complaint. Complaining is the number one pain reliever in the world. It's saying, I'm in pain, this sucks, and it's none of my fault. And it's a pain reliever because you get to avoid responsibility for it and you get the vent. So what happened was, right after the resistance was in my body, do you know what came next? Righteousness. I was right, they were wrong. I'm superior. I'm frustrated and annoyed because I'm better than them. I'm angry. So you try to be angry without being superior. Just try. You can't. Anger isn't anger. It's superiority. It's a relief. It's our mind saying, soothing us and saying, thank God I'm a better person than them. So that frustration, yeah, that's the same shit. You're a better person. I'm so frustrated. Just say it. I'm so much better of a human than this person. Say it again. I'm annoyed. I don't behave like this annoying person. I'm not annoying. Say it. You can't be annoyed, frustrated, angry, any of it. You cannot be in resistance without being superior. So you're not in pain. You're in pain with the resistance, but it's not anything other than I want to be superior. Now work with that. See, because you can't be superior to something you want to help. You got to be right there with it. You know, there became this thing that when I was in pain, there was an againstness. You see, I was against people. If you notice some of your family members that you say you love, you're against them. You live against them. You talk against them. When you talk against them. You're not talk for them. You talk against them and they talk against you. You always do that. No, I don't. Yeah. You see, you're against. And I realize actually to be with people, I have to feel like right there with them. Right there. I got to understand them and I got to be right down there with them. Now, I'm not saying their behavior is good. I just got to be with them. I'm not saying I don't want to change their behavior. I just got to be right there with them. I can't be the person against them to walk them out of that. You see? But you can't fake it. You see, anyone in this room, we go, well, you're upset. They go, no, I'm not. Nah, we know. You can't cover it up. We see your resistance. We see everyone's. We see it all the time. Poker's a fun game to play with resistance. I sit at a poker table and I play with it. I watch a guy lose a big hand. A lot of people are fake. You know, there's this poker etiquette. They want to be real nice hand. You know, and you can just hear them. They're like, nice hand, piece of shit. Where I'm like, I have fun at the poker table, so I'm always like, nice hand, you shitbag. You know, fucking idiot. You know, I like to have fun. You see, we can't cover this resistance up. It's there. And it comes in all these little forms. And what I learned was mindfulness for me. What I learned was, okay, I need to become this kind of pain factory. Give it to me. Dump yours on me. Yell at me. And let's see. You see, power is this. Who is the most powerful person? If somebody can cause resistance in you, then they have more power than you. You see? If I'm here to help you tonight, but one of you causes resistance in me because I'm standing on shaky ground and I start acting like an asshole, well, guess what? You had more power than I did. You might have had more force, but I didn't have enough power to combat the force. But I promise you that you cannot anger me tonight. There's kids that have been in the program. Now they're tough. They really helped me grow. You won't. Because I've worked enough with this resistance, there's nothing you could say or do that would be new to me. I've heard it all. And when I've heard it, I've sat there inside my body with the resistance. And when you were talking, I wasn't listening. I was feeling. And when your kid's talking to you, stop listening and start feeling. When people are causing resistance in you, stop listening to what they say and start feeling what you feel. It can't be combated in the mind. It can only be combated when you get the resistance out of your body so your mind can rest and wisdom can come back. And when your body's not in resistance, your mind is wise. That's why you go like this. Oh, I should have said that. I should have said that. But you didn't. You said some stupid shit. And then 10 minutes later, you're like, ah, man, I should have got him with this one. No, you shouldn't have. You know, I made hundreds and thousands of mistakes. And I can say the biggest one was needing to talk. You see, needing to talk is a big problem. You know, because you don't need to talk. You need to get rid of your resistance. And you're about to dump your pain on someone to get rid of it. So I learned that. And I sat with a lot of pain and I sat with a lot of resistance, way more than I ever did in addiction, because I didn't really get into this because of that. And as you do this and as you grow, you'll realize what this is here for you for. You know, resistance is really just an insecurity. You're not in resistance, you're just insecure. And you can't get somebody that's really insecure secured by you being insecure. What people need who are insecure and are going through addiction or going through tough times of pain is they need someone that makes them feel safe. And your resistance don't do it. And that's not to say that we don't get them out of what we get them out of. And that's not to say we never use force. That's to say we can even use force without being in resistance, couldn't we? We could. We could grab our loved ones and say, I'm sorry, this is for your own good. So it's here. To me, it got to the place, and it's arrived at a place where all I really want to talk about anymore is power. And by power, I mean his ability to make a difference in other people's life through conversations and through a way of being. And in that way of being and in those conversations, other people would be inspired to get better. And I'm not, remember again, I didn't say anything I said was true, and I'm not saying I'm all inspiring. And I'm saying this is like where I want to be when I'm 80. And hopefully the pathway that I'm on, not that I've gotten there yet. And I'm suggesting that the pathway comes through this. I really don't like people. I really don't love. And loving and liking people, even our family members, is highly difficult. And when some mother comes to me or some father comes to me or somebody comes to me and they say they love their kid unconditionally, I laugh. Because I think that's the goal, not where you live. To feel unconditional love would mean to feel no resistance. So you've got some kind of other unconditional responsibility. But to feel the experience of love With our loved ones, there's something in the way, and it's a lot of resistance. You see, we don't have that same resistance when we get our favorite bowl of ice cream. Do you know that favorite bowl of ice cream doesn't need to change? You don't say, I love this ice cream, but I wish it was different. But with your loved ones, you say, I love them, but. I love them, but what's that? You don't just say, I love them. And the reason you don't love them, and the reason you can't, is because a lot of their behavior provides resistance. And now you're in a pickle because you need them to behave differently to take away your resistance. And I'm suggesting that we have to be able to get rid of your resistance without them changing. And if we get rid of your resistance without them changing, you might gain the capacity to help them change. But you might not want to go that route. You might want to just have us fix the problem and go on vacation. So you might just get them here and then tail lights. You see? I don't know all that hokey shit you're talking about, Art. What? You know? But again, like I said, this is an alternate universe where this could be a pathway for you rather than something for them. I want you just in your brain for a second. I want you to answer this statement, especially the new people. Addiction is. Complete that sentence in your head. What'd you get?
Painful.
So imagine what addiction is going to be for her. What does anyone think addiction is going to be for her? Painful. You know, what addiction is going to be for her is painful. That's true. Now, what if you know, for me, what it is, addiction is a teacher. You see, that's a better outcome. You know, whatever you said in your head after that sentence, that's what you'll make it. That's what this turns into. My dad once had me eat a kiwi fruit. He told me this weird thing. We got a kiwi fruit at the store. And he goes, I want you to think of any other fruit. He goes, think of that fruit, close your eyes, and eat that kiwi fruit. And every fruit I said strawberries. And he goes, what does it taste like? I was like, strawberries. Kiwi fruit will taste like any fruit that you make it taste like in your head. So here we are. A lot of people told me addiction was a tragedy. A lot of people told me this. You know what? 17 years, 18 years of active addiction. Addiction was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. The greatest thing that ever happened to me. I found God through addiction. I found love through addiction. I found everything there is through it. And I've learned everything from it. I've learned how to handle pain. I've learned how to handle other people's pain. I've learned to let people dump pain on me. I've learned to let people yell at me. I've learned to let people vent on me. And I'm not weak. It's power. And by the way, I don't need anyone in this room to change. You're not going to help me. That was old times. You're not another notch in my belt. You don't change my identity anyway, anyhow, by getting better. So that lets me offer something. I don't need it. I offer it to you. Here's some shoes. Try them on. If you really want to get into this thing, if you really want to get to the heart of addiction, play with the resistance. Be with it. Learn about it. Learn why it's there. Learn what your mind does to help you avoid it. Just be in here with it. I promise you'll see it and they'll show it to you. And the bad, scary behavior, that'll show you your resistance, the acceptance, the practice of it. You know, I've learned in life now, guess what? I accept life before it happens. I'm never shocked. I cannot tell you the last time I'm shocked. I've learned that life every day has a little sabotage here, a little sabotageness to it. And it's coming. And when life sabotages me, which it does almost every day, when I think I've helped somebody and they go on to say, you know, when the art approval rating drops to 0, when I go to the mail and once again there's not a humanitarian award, but yet some other bullshit, you know, I look up and I smile and I say, thanks, God. I got you. You know what acceptance means? It means to receive what is offered. That's what it means. So when I started getting into this pain, being resistance to what it is, I started seeing what love is and its acceptance of what is. And it's actually being there to say, thanks, God, for that. Thank you, God, for these problems. Thank you, God, for this opportunity to save my loved one. Thank you for this opportunity to grow and help people get better. Thank you for this opportunity, because if I get real honest, I'm not in love with the humans. I haven't had the experience of love unless I turn on American Idol. And if I turn on one of those shows, I get a little tear and I feel a little love and they sing, but I don't look at my loved ones and feel that. When's the last time you've been at dinner with your family and you spoke from your heart and made you cry? When's the last time your family member spoke from their heart and made you cry? You see, it's not what we're saying, it's where we speak from. They always joke with me. They say, Art, you can say almost anything to anyone. Like I'm real good at telling someone they stink. You know what I mean? Because I don't tell someone they stink like I'm annoyed that they stink. When somebody stinks, I go, man, you stink. You see? And people go, God, you can say anything. And I go, I know, because I speak from an open heart. I speak from my heart. I don't speak from my resistance. But if you speak from your resistance, there is nothing you can say that anyone will agree with. See? So we play with this thing. Pain is resistance to what is. Seems so simple. I just don't have to resist what is. You know? I said, oh, wait. All I have to do is accept and I'm no longer in pain. And it's true. It absolutely is. You know, pain is from the moment, from event to acceptance. And it has to be done every day. You see, a lot of times I used to have a family member come in and I said, I want you to say, my kid's a drug addict. You're really going to have to accept that. Okay, there. Now what do we do? You see? You know, it's like that. It don't mean anything. If you're sitting here today and somebody convinced you that the only reason a kid could be a drug addict is because they were traumatized, I'll give you a hint. They're wrong. They're wrong and they don't know shit. So if you're sitting here as family members and you're going, what did I do? I don't know, maybe nothing. So the stigma anymore ain't on drug addicts. They're goddamn proud of themselves. They're smoking in public. They ain't stigmatized anymore, if you notice. They're out there doing the deal. They don't care who's watching. They don't care if there's kids. They don't give a shit. But the stigma's been put on the family like it's your fault. Like you guys did something wrong and traumatized and beat your kid or some shit. And I'll tell you, there is only one common cause of addiction that I've seen. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say what causes addiction. Don't write about it in books or get crazy, but I'm pretty sure that it's drugs. I mean, I'm pretty sure that drugs cause drug addiction, and I'm pretty sure that alcohol causes alcoholism. Because I've never met a drug addict that didn't do drugs. I've met some that haven't been traumatized. I've met some that have. I've met rich people, poor people. I've met great families. I've met abusive families. I've met every type of family, every type of person. But I'll tell you, any of these scholars that are talking about it, you go out there and you get 10 people that are at UW and you write their childhood, and then you come to my program and you write the childhood of the 10 people at the program and mix them up, and you won't be able to tell the difference. I promise you that. You see? So family members that are worried about talking about it, geez, who cares? We got a problem here. Let's solve it. Let's learn, let's grow. We don't even care. They're not going to figure out the cause. By the way, they'll change the cause in a couple of years. Whatever they say cause it this year, they change it every couple of years. I've already been through the 4th cause of addiction. It's a disease. It's biopsychosocial. It's hereditary. It's genetic. It's trauma. It's a disorder. Shut up. You don't know shit. Okay. I'm done ranting. I encourage everyone. My practice is simple. I play with resistance. I've done it for years. When I'm in resistance, I look into it. What is scaring me? Why am I not safe? Is this real? Relax, Art. When I'm in resistance, there's always little Art. Not my son, but a different one. You know, there's little Art sticking up for me. Don't let them treat you this way. Chill out, little Art. Don't let them say that. What are they going to think? Chill out, little Art. I'm a bad driver. Last summer, and I had a nice car. I had a BMW, and it was a fast BMW. So I like to pull out in front of people and do stupid shit. I remember this guy. I pulled out on Pack Highway in front of this guy, and he came up on me real fast, and they all, and he got around to the side of me, and my window was open, and he came next to me, and I'm kind of like sitting there, and then he goes like this, "Never do that again." And I was like, me and you ever meet on Pack Highway at 4 p.m.? I promise, little guy, I won't do that again. It's like when you really start playing with this thing and you start looking at other people's resistance, we're very childlike. I used to always love it, man. I loved alpha men, dude, when I was young. I was aspiring. I was an aspiring alpha man. I worked at a bun plant. We made all the buns for McDonald's. There was a bunch of alpha men. So if something went wrong, inevitably, some alpha man was out on the floor yelling at all of us. And I remember being younger and going, man, I can't wait till I'm the guy that gets to yell. I was like that. I can't wait till I'm in charge and I get to yell when everything's going wrong. So I was an aspiring alpha man. And now I just look at every man that's yelling as a child. No matter what's happening. I go, oh, an infant. His body is resisting the way it is, and he can't seem to, and women, same thing. And when we start looking at this little righteous baby that we are trying to kick and scream and solve problems, we realize that it's our resistance. Our kids behave barely. One of the things that used to happen to me was somebody in my program would behave very poorly. I would behave worse. So inevitably, I was apologizing to them, and they would never apologize for their behavior. But then I would come in and apologize. Hey, I'm sorry for yelling at you. You know, this kid like stole my van. You know, he stole the van, went out, wrecked the van, and then I yell and I feel worse than him for, you know, they never come back. By the way, guys, those apologies you're all waiting for, they're not coming. Yeah, just give that shit up. You know, I used to have that thing, the 12 steps, you know. My kids in my program be getting 12 steps. I'm looking around, what step you on? You getting close to 9 yet? Expecting that they were gonna come with their paper. Art, I have a list of amends to make towards you. Pumpkin never showed up. It's like they're all skipping the 9th step. Yeah, they didn't care. You know, they don't come. That causes more resistance. Whatever. Be nice though. You don't want it even if you get it. Okay, new people. You want to start?
Okay.
Okay, Mama?
Mama. And our son, Jim and my son, Christopher is his name, is the drug addict.
Christopher, what's his last name? We probably got someone that knows him here.
And I won't say.
Why? That means we'll find him and get him off the streets tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Miller.
Chris Miller. Anyone know Chris Miller?
Seeing out.
We don't know where he's at right now.
Okay.
Currently do not know where he is. Yeah.
North Seattle. Yeah.
He was living with us. This month, July will be a year. He came back home. We were trying to do this, our own little program of the recovery for him and help him, you know, get straight and get clean and all of that. And he has a child, our granddaughter, and she's 20 months, 21 months. And for him to be able to see her, he would have had to have supervised visits. So that was another reason that, so we have her every other weekend, and he was able to become a father, you know, and build a relationship with her and stuff like that. But this is, and now he's left our house. Things got volatile, and he decided, we did the force thing. We
I was a Marine.
There you go.
had out of the way, right?
Yeah.
So tried the force thing of either rehab or jail, and we were hoping he would choose the rehab and want to choose his daughter, you know, for those reasons. And so then he left, and that was probably over a month ago. We knew where he was at some point, but then he left that place too. And Chris has been an ongoing, on and off again addict since probably 18.
He's 37.
He's 37.
Perfect age. That's where you happen.
Yeah, he's used to Vancouver. They go to CDNR, and at a younger age, he was like 21 at that time. It was a live-in facility. It's Seattle Drug and Rehab. I don't know if you've ever heard.
You know what it is.
Fantastic program. He was there for a year, and then he was clean for probably about 6 years. He got into the union, a carpenters union, and he had 1 year left till journeyman, and he went back to using again. And well, he lost his sister, our daughter, in 2015,
Her name was Angie.
and her name is Angie.
How old is she?
She was 34. We lost her to breast cancer. And her and Christopher were very, very close. I mean, 7 years apart, but she just hated him, I should say, you know, like bailed him out of everything. But he was amazing. He had a good upbringing. He was into sports. He played baseball, football, just kind of like a natural athlete type. And we supported that. And his sister supported that. Anyway, it was good, and then he went off to college, he got into college, and went to college for 2 years, and then started doing other things, smoke the pot, but that's like the gateway to, other things, but actually, in football, he would have to do two-a-days practices, and a lot of the other kids on the team were saying, oh, but this sucks, it's painful, and they're like getting all knocked up and hit up and everything else like that, so he was introduced to Oxycontin at that time. And then from Oxycontin, it was way too expensive, so then he got into heroin. From there, it was heroin, and yeah, it was bad. It was really, really bad. So he got arrested, and I went to the hearing, and I asked the judge not to let him go. And that's when the judge did a court order for treatment. And that's when he went to CD-ROM, and that's what helped him.
How old is he now?
He's 37.
Okay.
And it helped him because he actually said he wanted to be a counselor when he was done with that program. He said, I could be so good at it because I've gone through it all. And so that was encouraging and all, but it just, then that happened with the sister. And
So one of the first things that starts happening is that this is dominating.
he's what?
Dominating.
Dominating.
Yeah, this is a dominating experience. It dominates you.
It's concerning.
Dominates us.
Yeah.
And the next thing that happens when something dominates us is that we begin to see it as a complaint. You see what I'm saying? And
We definitely complain.
okay. Well, I don't. Your family's been through a lot. So, and the first kind of move is that you decide you want to help, right?
Well, we've wanted to for years,
So what do we do?
but obviously we're not doing it right.
Okay.
So what we need to do is schedule a consultation, and those other new people in the room, make sure you reach out to me. Let's get you scheduled tomorrow. We'll put you on the calendar, we'll meet you in right away for a consultation, and that's where we sit down with mom and dad. We get to know you more personally, one-on-one.
Maybe I'll sorry.
No. So we don't think so. No, nobody thinks that at all. This is helpful.
We've all been.
Yeah.
We've all been through it.
Yeah.
Not those one-on-ones.
Everybody that's not
Our Nancy.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you, Susan. No, everybody that's not new has already had a consultation. That's where we start, and we're gonna get to know you personally, one-on-one in your situation. And that consultation allows us to sit down, identify a starting point, so we can help you through this entire thing. And then we're gonna be from here on out. That's what we do. So this is perfect. And those other people that are new, make sure to reach out to me. Let's get you on the calendar tomorrow. I know Art's out of town for a few days, so we're gonna be booking like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week.
We got Lotus at the house. You guys.
Yeah, Lotus
Big
House.
with Java, I have a whole stage I can make it for you guys.
Have a good time. Yeah. That'll help us get to know you guys.
Hey, you've done it this far without us.
Okay.
You made it. Okay. We got you. Easy. No, I mean, we don't say that too lightly, but it's easy. Those of you that are in the room that your family came, for most of you, I look out there, it was easy. When you apply the right strategies, it gets easier.
Because.
Yeah, we apply strategies that work, and we could also call this group the Mythbusters. No, because one of our kind of core values that we wrote down a long time ago at Battlefield is we don't listen to what they say. Honest to God, addiction's worse than weight loss. It's worse than baby stuff. I got a new kid. So she always looks on Google.
ChatGPT.
Oh, now Chat
Yeah, I
GPT.
can Google on this.
Okay, Chat GPT is telling us how to raise him.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it does. You know. No. You gotta put a straight jacket on him at night. Yeah. So my kid sleeps like a mental patient.
Stew, just stew.
Okay, but here's my point. Right now, if you go on Chat GPT and find out what to eat and find out how to be healthy, 5 years from now, everything they telling you now is gonna be different. It's how addiction works and it's how weight loss works. The same shit. It's all a racket. You see? Anyways.
Same with street outreach. If you apply the right strategies, it's actually easy to convert somebody to maybe accept.
Yeah. People don't, there's a myth though. You can't. You gotta there's a myth that somehow, somehow addicts are all around and, just doing drugs. And then in the event of nothing, they just decide they want to get help. They just, there's all these drugs. I'm so tired of having to pick them up and smoke them. I'm just gonna, no, that's a myth. 100% of the people that come here come not happy to be here. 100%. No one's happy to be here. Don't they gotta want it for themselves? No, nobody wants it for themselves. That's ridiculous. Even the people that come here and they go, I'm here because I want it for myself. I go, get out of here. You're not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it. They're full of shit saying that. Then I always go, but didn't you just get arrested? You go, yeah. I know I made this choice all on my own. With the help of the jail that said you had to come here, you were going to go back to jail, right? It's ridiculous. What we do is not teach people how to not use drugs. I don't teach people how to not use drugs, just like nobody teaches you how to not eat the donut. Seriously. You don't go to a nutritionist and they go, I'm going to teach you not to eat the donut. No. And when you eat the donut, we don't blame the nutritionist. You see? I don't teach people. See, either one of two things is going to make people stop using drugs. Either they're going to have enough pain from using drugs. Enough pain where they finally go, the benefits do not outweigh the cost. I quit. Or that's not going to happen, and they're going to get sober for a little while, maybe against their will, maybe here, and something might happen along the way that they do begin to do it for themselves, and they start building them a life that they can no longer rationalize as using drugs. See, before a drug addict uses drugs, they got to have a reason. And if they've had enough pain, they can never come up with a reason. Or if they build a life that's good enough, they get less reasons. You see? So one of two things is going to make people not use drugs, and I'm not really part of it. I'm on the side of helping someone build a life and connect with humans and love people enough and be responsible about that. You see, I know they all tell you that love is the answer to addiction. That's true, but it ain't on everyone else. It wasn't on everyone else to love me, so I was no longer an addict. It was on me to get rid of my resistance so I could love everybody else so that I'm no longer an addict. So if you're in recovery and you're waiting for somebody to love you enough to stay sober, shut up. Seriously, grow up. Who do you love? You see, love is not the experience of being loved. In fact, being loved is nothing. You don't feel it. Really. You feel validated sometimes. You might feel accepted sometimes, but tell me what it feels like to experience someone loving you. You don't know what that feels like. You maybe look and see somebody looking at you and you can identify they're looking at you with love, you see, but you can explain the experience of you loving something. You know what that feels like. You see, that's the high. It's not a high to be loved, it's a high to love. You see? And everyone thinks it's the opposite. That's what they say. Like we got a bunch of people out there that we all failed and we didn't love them enough. Not true. In fact, the people out there, most of us got all the love. In fact, many of their brothers and sisters are sitting at home right now going, hey, what about me? Let me get a little love, please. You see? So a lot of the people out there are overloved and they don't love anyone else. And then there's a myth. And we all sit around going, shit, what'd I do? I didn't love them enough. No, maybe you loved them too much. You see? So there's the thing. And by the way, we go back to that resistance thing. If I want to experience love for folks, I can't experience love and resistance at the same time. I've got to experience that full acceptance of somebody. They don't have to change. There they are, right there, beautiful. See? Go ahead, real quick. I want to get to everyone real quick. Yes. And at the end of this, we're just going to say, meet Ange, get a consultation, and we'll get.
Stay before you leave and schedule it before you leave. That would be better that way.
Just
Just
while you're here, real quick.
wait, well, because I met you.
Yeah. And I was charming. Yeah. Good looking. Yeah. Don't leave out the charming and the good looking. Yeah.
And I wanted to see if I could help my son. He's 36, he still lives at home, and he doesn't give a crap about it himself. And he's not out on the streets, but he's addicted to pharmaceutical medications. And he knows it, but it's a roller coaster.
Easy.
I'm to the point now, kind of like what we talked about, I don't know what to do.
Bono, Brandon, go grab the kid. She'll give you the address. We'll have him out of there very soon.
Yeah.
He's already here. He just doesn't know it yet. Yeah. A lot of the people are the last one to know. Okay.
My name's Karen. My son is addicted to fentanyl and meth, and he's been in and out of prison since he was, I don't know, 9. He went to his dad's house at 9, and his dad showed him that life, and so he just doesn't know how to live otherwise. I tried to pull him out last time he got released. I offered him a program, and he refused. And I offered my home to him, and he found the first person in the neighborhood that had a steady supply of microdose. And so he just sort of kept leaving, and he was there less and less until I finally moved. And I said, well, I don't know what you're doing, but I have to do something about it.
Then you've only had the one?
That's the reason I'm here.
Yeah. Easy. Just one lonely addict. You know?
Would you tell about our consultation?
What's that?
Would you like me to tell about our consultation?
Yeah, then 16. Is that 16? Yeah, 2016. Yep.
Yeah. The same thing, world for you, not everybody's this lucky, some a little slower, but we met listen a little bit. Our son was a heroin meth addict for 14 years. And we came to some of these meetings with them, and finally we had a consultation July 27th, 2016. 11 days later, our son quit drugs, quit alcohol, quit everything.
He went to rehab.
Well, he did go rehab, but this one worked, some of you know he'd go 13 times to rehab and then anyway. But one of the things he said to me was that, Dad, I'm glad you went and got some help. I was trying to get him. But it's like I was a Marine and I was a little judgmental about his drug addiction. Anyway, there is possibility, have faith, but I think that consultation really helped our son, and he's already told us that, you know,
It'll be 9 years.
yeah, 9 years, August, whatever.
August 5th.
And they're in town, the whites are traveling all the time. They once took one of those head things of me, bobbleheads, and I traveled the country. Yeah, they took a picture of me everywhere. Yeah.
The pictures everywhere.
Yeah, so my head, you know,
On various states.
yeah. Back to the art approval rating stuff.
So one more time, it's just the importance of a consultation, y'all, is just that allows us to provide a customized plan for you, because there's no two cases that are the same. It's not cookie cutter advice, just because you see this couple over here that maybe appears like the same case, it's never that way. So it allows us to create a strategy for you and help guide you throughout the entire process, no matter what comes. Some cases are quick, like theirs was the 11 days, and some take longer, but we're here for with you every step of the way. So definitely schedule that before you leave would be great. Get you on the calendar now. And then a couple of reminders. So again, on July 29th, make sure that's on your calendar, Tuesday, July 29th, 7 o'clock. Come back here. We're gonna have a fun night that night. We hope you all come and support and come get to know Ryan and Cameron from Woodland Dental, big supporters of ours. So we just want to show it big and get to know them. And then we are going to be doing a group coaching. I believe I'm gonna be announcing that date the next couple days, but that is coming. So be on the lookout for that. Group coaching is for parents only, and that is a smaller group. And group coaching is really a powerful thing that we do. One of our favorites that we do here. So be watching for that. And then August 5th is National Night Out. So make sure that's on your calendar. And then tomorrow morning, all you moms, even especially you newbies, if you can join us tomorrow, it'll allow us to really talk and introduce you to the other moms. We've got moms here from Beyond the Battle, those who've lost a loved one. We've got moms here that have kids in long-term recovery, and then we've got moms on the group that are still struggling and their kids are out there. So we've got the whole mix everywhere in between. So you're in good hands with this group of moms. So please join us tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Send me a message and I'll shoot you the link. It's a Zoom link. It's the same link every week once you have it. But yeah, it'd be great from wherever you're at. You can assume it's just 1 hour. So we'd love to have you, and I think that was the last reminder. I feel like I was forgetting one thing that was important, but maybe not.
You know.
Yeah.
I just want to nail home what this was about tonight. I know that there's new people and what you're gonna need is you're gonna need a strategy. And one of the things that gets people out of being dominated by something is a strategy to defeat that thing. And when we stay in strategy mode and don't go in complaint mode, we can make a difference. Stay there. A lot of times people just run out of strategies. We don't. We've been around long enough. We've seen a lot, and we can keep a strategy going. And you know, so I do want you to understand though, you know, it's like there are people, we are people that, you know, I'm not a big fan of the trauma thing. I'm not a big fan of folks in addiction being the traumatized baby bird that they are, that they're made out to be. But there is some truth to the fact that there's a bunch of resistance going on. That when we have conversations with each other, we're really right here. We're really ready to blow at all times when things are getting very difficult. And this idea that you want to help and that you can't help from here, and that what it means to play with this resistance, it means to observe it and be with it and kind of just learn to be in your body. What that'll do is it'll establish a power base, a place of power for you that you're turned to for difficulty. So that power base begins, because you all feel powerless. I know you do. Well, you're powerless because of that, because you're hoping that this will go away. You're hoping. A lot of people come here and they say, we came here for hope. No, you didn't. Hope ain't shit. We don't provide that. What we provide is an idea that God gave you this, maybe that the world, the universe has given you this for you. And that you've had this resistance of your whole life. And that resistance not only is blocking you from loving your loved one, it's closing your heart to the rest of the world. And this is about changing that. This is about seeing this as an opportunity to get the ultimate pain as a human being and then be with it and learn to be with it so that when I speak and I make a difference in people's life, I'm not doing it because of me, I'm doing it because of them. I'm going to be able to be a person who's capable of handling my own pain, and then I can be with somebody else that's in pain, kind of like it would be to approach a dog that's really scared. You don't come at a dog that's really scared from resistance. You come at them from calmness. And we've learned that. So I hope that you'll want more, and this is a long-term conversation. You keep coming back, and we might talk about other things, but on this one, please start understanding that the problem is internal. Yes, there's external problems, but the problem that you can't fix it is because of the internal problems. And we have to start there. So thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Red.